Hey friends, I wanted to show you something interesting before it gets erased because we need these whiteboards that we change every day during class. This is called the Godai. The Godai is something that we use here at this dojo as a teaching method, and this was written by one of our youth instructors, Rebecca. She was going over it with the students on ways to think about philosophy and the martial arts and how to deal with danger and conflict in life through the elemental system. Let me take a closer look with you at this and kind of explain what we mean. Okay, so as you look at these descriptions here, I'm just going to give you a little bit of history where this comes from. This is philosophy in Budo, which separates us from many other schools that don't do anything like this. They just show you how to hit targets and defend yourself, but there's so much more wonderful depth that come from different cultures and different places around the world that can help us here in America on, again, how to deal with danger and conflict. This is called the Godai. Godai is a teaching method, and it's also a counting method. It's called the 5 great forms, and here they are in the elemental forms. The classical elements typically refer to earth, water, air, fire, and later even the ether, which were proposed to explain the nature and complexity of all matter in terms of simpler substances. Now, they used these in ancient cultures like Greece, Angola, Tibet, India, China, Mali, Japan. All of these cultures had similar lists to this. Plato, Aristotle, Confucius, all of these different cultures recognized the different elements and how they might apply to our psychology and our personalities. Of course, modern science does not support this elemental system, and that's okay. We just use these to teach and instruct ways of moving the body in self-protection and how to protect our minds from danger and negativity. This is fantastic stuff. I've been using this for 40 years. I first learned it in the 1980s, and it really has saved and helped my life in so many different ways, as well as countless students. So let's take a look at number one. Number one is earth. Earth is chi, and these are just some words that the students said that kind of talk about earth and what it means psychologically. Here are some words that I think of, like solid. I think of strength. Earth is like stone. It's gravity, solidity, the bones of the body, stability. The negative form of earth is you're too stubborn. In the martial arts, it's about holding your ground, standing your ground, and using strength in your presence, being bold. The source is strength. So standing your ground, being powerful, solid, bold is the representation of earth. If a bully is coming into your space, you're not going to let him have it. You're going to hold your ground. So this is earth. And this is the first element that we learn here at the dojo to teach kids about self-protection, so that if they quit after 9 months or a year or 6 months, they at least have boosted their confidence in holding their position and getting their voice out there to be recognized. Moving down just a little more, let's take a look at the water element. The water element, called sui or mizu in some cases, water. Water, as you can see here, some really good words that people came up with to describe this feeling and movement of water. In my opinion, water is all of this. It's formless, it's flowing, it's plant-like. Think of plants. It's suppleness, adaptation, flexibility, emotionalism. So you can see here they have the words flow, fluid, avoiding, angling, very good, assessing, wave. Someone said a wave describes water, literally the water. In martial arts, this is about defensive angling, as you can see here, defensive angling to get offline before you counterattack. So your footwork allows you to overextend the opponent's attack, and then you attack, in some cases, at a different angle into their center line, called the shomitsu, and you defend yourself. So water is a very powerful element. This is associated with our blue belts in our system. Okay, we're moving over to the element of fire. Fire is a really cool element. This is hi. Hi means fire, so does ka. We usually use the word ka. Fire, here are the words to describe the fiery aspects of personality. Connection is what I think of. I think of force, heat, drive, passion, enthusiasm, getting things accomplished. Here we have some words that people wrote early. I like that. The preemptive. Forward. You don't always have to be forward. Now, all of these elements can move in any direction, so don't think always in linear forms. Here they have fearless, fierce. I think that says invasive or incentive, one of those two. I like that. So in the martial arts, I think of fire as being high energy attacks, defensive attacks, and in some cases you attack offensively. Your source is energy, so that's what the fire element is. Obviously, it's the opposite of water, and this we associate with red, the red belts in our system. Moving down a bit more, we have the wind element. Wind, the fourth of the 5 elements. Wind is called fu, or in some cases kaze. Wind is about freedom of movement. Think of experience, think of knowledge. Think of evasiveness, the breath of the body. You're uncatchable, you're light, you're airy. Think of nature. In the martial arts, we use this as rotation, often circular. Here you can see some people wrote a spacey. They think of swift, rotation, late in some cases. You're not there. You're very open-minded psychologically. And again, in martial terms, I think of this as elusive methods that redirect attacks away from their targets. Redirecting attacks away from the targets here. So the wind element is associated with the color green, and these are our green belts in our particular system. This stuff is really cool. Now, if we look up here, there's just one word here. It's called the void. The void is kind of the 5th element, and you could say that it kind of combines all of these together. What does the void mean? The void is associated with our brown belts, much higher level, and even the black belt and above. When I think of void, I think of ku. Ku means void or space, also called sora. This is the ether. This is what can't be explained physically. It's like the sky. Think of the sky, the air in the sky, the heavens, space, things that grow, wisdom, creativity, inventiveness, spontaneity, inventive fighting. The void is when you're kind of in the moment. You're not thinking rationally about anything. You're just in the moment. You're in the present moment, doing what you need to do to defend yourself. That is the void. In fighting terms, I think of you just take down the opponent with any of the elements. Because you've studied all of these for years and years and years, you can go into the void. Think of the ultimate artist, the ultimate creator, the actor on stage. You're just in the void. You're in the play itself. You're in the painting. You're in the music. This is the void. You're playing live on stage. You're not thinking about your chords on your guitar. You're not thinking about volumes and tone. You're just in the void. You're in the moment. That's the ultimate goal, is getting back to that creativity that we were born with. Now, if we widen back out a little bit and kind of look at the whole thing in perspective, all this teaches us is what part of our attitude do we have? I think that we all have every single one of these in our attitude and in our personalities. Some people have it stronger than others. Who do you know in your life that's a very bold person, that's a very strong person? Who's the rock in your family? Who's the person that you go to for advice? Who do you know that's very watery? They're always scientific in nature. They think a lot. They assess before they act. Who do you know that's a bit more fire in your life? This person always is forward in movement. They're very fearless in their actions. And who do you know that's kind of a windy person? Perhaps yourself. Are you the person that likes to kind of not be there, who's very elusive? That might be kind of a windy part of our personalities. And you and I have all of these. How do we apply these in our modern life? What if you don't train in the martial arts and you have no interest in this, but you feel these aspects in your personality as I do? What we can do is use these as in kind of a yin-yang or yin-yo type of opposites need each other in order to be recognized. I need to recognize what part of these I'm using in my psychology and my interactions with people every single day. So that if I'm a very stubborn person and I don't listen to anybody. I'm very closed-minded. That's a negative part of earth. And I might want to work more on my windy aspects. I might want to work more on being more open-minded. If I'm a person that is just too sappy, too weak, I might need some more fire in my life where I have to learn how to actually do what I say. I don't want to just talk the talk. I want to walk the walk. That's the fire. And you might have a person that's just too, I don't know, too much of a person. They're too overwhelming. They just say too much. They have no filtration system on their thoughts. So you might need more water in your life. And if you're a windy person, you're just too not there, you might need more earth. So you can see how these all counter each other, and they're all necessary parts of our personality, because when we deal with people at work or at school or at home, in our family, right now in our house, in the next room, we might be saying things that aren't the best things to say to get things done in life or to get along with those around us. We all go through life with very difficult challenges. Every single one of us has mental and physical and psychological attacks that happen every second of the day. And if we're not training actively in the martial arts, we can still use this wonderful Godai elemental system to just recognize parts of our personality, and then when we're failing at one, maybe pepper in one of the opposites. That's that yin-yo, that yin-yang part of our personality. A fun challenge today might be when I go out to work today, or I go to school tomorrow, or I have a family event I'm going to, can I use these elemental systems in my mind to just recognize them when I'm saying something, when I'm doing something? What element would that be classified as? And then have fun with this. It's about having fun in your life and doing the opposite and seeing what the results might be. In the martial arts, these give us 5 different ways of defending ourselves, not 1, but 5, and then endless combinations of these 5, which to me form more of the Kihon Happo, this endless way of practicing, of getting a little bit better than we were yesterday. And then ultimately, if violence does come toward us, we deal with it in one of these ways to survive. So that's a quick look at the Godai. There's so much more depth to this that we could discover over many, many more videos in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you get something out of it. And the point is, can we take this and practice it and see how it works in our life? If it doesn't work, jettison it, get rid of it, don't use it. I just found over the past many years it's helped me out of so many different situations, because if I can check my thoughts and see where they're coming from, what's the root of them, then I have a path, I have a purpose, I have direction to change what I want to have changed. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and thanks for your attention. Bye-bye.